Hey guys, Remy here. I've recently found out about AI art, and I've kind of been obsessing about it ever since. It's incredibly easy to create. All you need is an idea to feed into it. It'll take whatever you've given it and create an image based on what you've told it. It sounds stupidly simple, but just look at some of the things that I was able to create using it. The fact that a program was able to create these things absolutely blows my mind. It's like the AI is slowly dreaming up a scene in its mind, and all the while, you get to watch it while it comes up with the image. It's some seriously amazing stuff. So, I want to make a quick video showing you guys how to make your own AI art. I also have a few tips as well that'll help your end results look the best they possibly can. I originally found out about this thanks to a website called TextArt. You can still go there and use it, however, the processing queue has gotten a little bit nutty. It used to take about an hour wait or so until you got to see your results, but the wait time currently is about a month, which is not ideal. Since I was impatient, I did some digging on how to make my own AI art without the website. It was actually a whole lot easier than I thought. The entire website, called VQ Game Plus Clip, can be easily accessed through a copied Google Colabs page, which is kind of like Google Docs except for scripts. I've included a link to this down below in the description. But anyways, let's open up that Google Colabs page and get started. Once you've opened it up, the first thing that you'll want to do is go to the top, hit Runtime, change Runtime Type, and then select GPU. This will allow you to use one of Google's cloud graphics cards to do all of the processing. After that, you'll want to click this play button here, 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 and here. The first guy is a license agreement, the second guy checks to see how good of a GPU you got from Google, the third is to prevent your session from disconnecting, and the fourth will install all the libraries that you'll need in order to run the AI. All this will be installed on the Google Colabs file as well, not your personal computer. Next up we have the libraries. These are different pools of images that the AI will pick from. If you pick different sources, you'll get different results. For now, we'll just go with the defaults and hit play. And we're going to hit the play button down here as well to load in those libraries. And now the most important step, the parameters. These might look a little intimidating, but don't worry, they're pretty easy once you've gotten a hang of them. The text section is pretty self-explanatory. It's where you enter the text that you'd like to be converted into an image. Below that is the width and height of your image in pixels. The smaller the image is, the faster it'll take the process. The larger it is, the longer it'll take the process. Generally, something around 300 by 300 would be considered something on the low end, while 900 by 900 would be considered something on the high end. If you're going for a landscape image, then I would recommend making it a touch wider than tall. If you've decided on a different library in the previous step, then you would select that library here in the Models section. In the Images Interval section, you get to select how often you get an image of the AI's generation process. Generally, I like to keep this around 25 to 50, since I like to keep a close watch on its progress. These next two options are pretty interesting, but I really haven't had a chance to mess around with them too much myself yet. If you would like the AI to start with a particular image you have, then you can upload that into the Google Colabs document and then set that as the origin point in the Initial Images section. The same is true if you want the reverse. If you want the AI generated art to look like a certain image, then you can set that in the Target Images section. You can do both these things by selecting the Files button on the left-hand side and dragging and dropping your desired image into there. You can then right-click on that file, do Copy Path, and then you select Paste in either the Initial Image or Target Image section. The seed section works just like it does in Minecraft. If you save a seed and then use the same parameters, then you'll end up getting the same result. If you change the seed, however, your results will then be different the second time around. -1 is the default value, which is random. And lastly, you have max iterations, which is basically how long the AI will keep trying to process the image. This is set to -1 by default, which will keep your generation going forever. Generally, I like to set this to 750 to 1000, as I found the best results here. After that, you hit the play button under parameters, and then hit the play button by Fire Up AI, and then you play the waiting game. Once it's done, you can then download any of the individual images by right-clicking and then doing Save As on the image. You can also download the full video of the image generation process by selecting play down here and down here. Now that's dandy and all, but there's still a lot more to this. The program VQ Game Plus Clip has the ability to accept modifiers. Here is 4 examples of images that were generated, and here's examples of different modifiers being placed onto them. As you can see, you can really fine-tune your image to whatever style you'd like. You can make it stylized after certain sources, after different art styles, or even after specific styles from certain artists. It's really insane how precise you can get with this. To do this, you just add in the text that specifies this. If you want your image to look like it was made in a certain style, then all you have to do is plainly write that modifier in the text section. Like, if you wanted your image to look like it was made in a watercolor style, then you would just type in watercolor at the end of your request. If you want it done in the style of a certain artist, then you just write by insert artist here. Now that you know all of that, the question then becomes what works and what doesn't work. Generally, I found that landscapes work the best by far. It always manages to make something really beautiful whenever I give it a go. Asking it to create an image based on very generalized and ambiguous wording also works fantastically. It's always interesting to see how the AI will interpret what you're asking it to do. Also, putting HD and 8K as modifiers also works very well in order to make the image look a little bit more crisp. That's all the stuff that you should try to do. There is, however, things that you should definitely not try to do. Generally, I found that asking it to create anything related to creatures or people works out horribly. I've almost always gotten some sort of abomination whenever I try to do that. Which, if that's what you're trying to go for, then by all means. As an example, here's what I got when I tried asking it to make Gargouda. The results are a bit, they're a bit rough. Sorry, Gouda. Why are the boobas so big? So, you've created yourself some pretty snazzy art. Nice. But you might notice that it looks a little bit blurry. Creating files in such low resolution unfortunately makes it pretty pixelated. However, you can get around that by using another program called Waifu2X. This program will help you upscale your created work, making it less pixelated. There's thankfully a convenient website version of this that lets you do this quickly and easily. I've included a link to it in the description. Using this, you can upscale your images by about 2 times, which should be more than enough for most people. There's also a desktop version called Waifu2X Cafe that can upscale things even more so. But I won't be going over that in this video, since it's running a little bit long already. Anyways, that's the gist of it. If this seems interesting to you, please give it a try. If you made some cool art, then please share it as well. I'd love to see what kind of cool stuff you guys have made. If you enjoyed this video, then please spread the word about AI art. This stuff is incredibly amazing, but no one really seems to know too much about it. I'm hoping that this video will help spread the word, even if it is just a little bit. But that's about it. So I hope all of you have a good rest of your night.